Is there a simple fact about life that you wish more people would understand?
I wish people would understand that we are a community. We're not just individuals focusing on ourselves alone. We really have to think of ourselves as a community, people who care for each other. And it makes I can't even think with this camera on me. I would say that I'm a nurse, and I became a nurse because of my awareness that it was very important for people to feel that they could respect themselves. And as a nurse, I could, by my presence and by my interaction with a patient, I could get across the importance to that person of their own self-respect and their own belief in their own power and individuality. And that's how if we all could recognize that in people that we are meeting and interacting with, that would be a world that really would work.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I want people to understand, to live life, live like there's no tomorrow, because we're not promised tomorrow. So try to live today as it's your last. Do your best in the day, because you're not promised to see tomorrow. So just live and do what you want to do.
I have trouble understanding this myself too, but I think that you should live as if you're dying, because you are, and life is long, but it's also very short. We get to do it once, so we should do it the best that we can.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
I could get it. I didn't want to take it too hard.
I suppose it's represented well by my tattoo here. Came up with it because we think of time as progressing forward like a straight line, but we also recognize it's cyclical and repeats itself. So here it's moving forward while always passing along the same point. So you always want to double back. Don't just go forward. You got to go both ways.
Wow. Thank you so much.
My personal mantra is communication leads to understanding. Understanding leads to patience. Sometimes all we need to do is just share a little bit with somebody, and that'll go a long way.
You can try to be perfect. You can strive for perfection, but you're never going to get there. Nobody's perfect. If you keep trying to do that, you're just going to let yourself down.
I wish people would understand that history is doomed to repeat itself. If we're not privy to learning it and understanding what it is, everything just repeats itself in a cycle. Going to the 80s, coming into the Cold War in the 60s and the 70s, the Vietnam War and everything of that nature. It's all in a compromised state because the politics is so ruined,
I think they should treat other people the way they wanted to be treated.
Why do you think is that?
Well, because here in this city, many people don't care about what is around them, people, environment, even animals.
That it doesn't last forever. You gotta enjoy life while you have it, because you never know when it's gonna be taken from you.
So for me, I wish we had more of the resources that we have now, especially when it comes to relationships, learning about attachment styles and love languages, because I feel like if we had those resources back then, the world would be a better place. We would understand each other more when it comes to our communication styles, and even just the way people interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. You may see a person and they're just laid back, and you'd be oh well, that person's kind of odd or whatever, something you want, but they're just a chill person, and taking the time out to start up a conversation with them to see what their interests are and stuff like that. So just being more self-aware, okay, what is coming up for me, why do I feel that way when around a certain person or people and stuff like that, and how can I self-reflect on that and approach the situation differently.
I wish people would understand, don't dwell in the past, especially if it's a negative thing that you're worried about or you wish you should have done or could have done. Just move on. It's done, and try to make your life from today on better. Doesn't always work out that way, but it's less stress. You won't make yourself as crazy, and you'll probably be happier. Just leave it and move on.
I wish people will not give a crap about others' people's opinion. You know, especially in New York, people are so focused on influencers on Instagram, and they want to be like them, and they really think about other people judging them based on their looks,
Right.
based on their Instagram pictures, based on how they, you know, present themselves, like, you know, during the day. Especially the kids, especially the young ones. That's the thing.
Teenagers.
Yeah. That's what makes me like, you know, upset, because like once you grew up and once you're adult, you kind of stop giving crap about what people
think.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think it's a hard question. I was hoping you were going to ask me the capital of Canada. But you didn't. Which I know the answer to. But you only get one question. Okay. I think people become too wrapped up in the idea of fairness. And that generally that becomes defined as fairness towards them, and that if they thought more broadly about ideas like forgiveness or what is, you know, good for everyone and not just their own injustices that have been done towards them, I think everyone would be a little bit more happy.
I think most people think life's kind of a straight line, or when things are going well, it's to be a one direction. But I think things go back and forth a lot. You know, like there's ups and downs, and sometimes you regress a little bit. That's kind of part of moving forward. So I think people should realize that there's more like peaks and valleys.
Right. There's ups and downs.
Yeah.
I think that life is what you make of it, and I think anyone can have a good life no matter what, as long as they're positive, they stay focused, and try to obtain their goals, be the best person that they can every day. I think that's like a fact that everyone should know. That's how to live your best life. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
For sure, bro.